It's Elizabeth, Countess of Low Carb, and on this episode, we're going to interview Dr. Ken Berry coming up. Today we're going to be talking with Dr. Ken. Put your questions below. Make sure you give this video a like. Make sure you click subscribe. And make sure you share it. Who do you know who's interested in the keto diet? I'm really excited to talk to Dr. Ken today. We have tons of keto questions, but if you don't know me, hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm Countess of Low Carb. I've lost 50 pounds on the keto diet. And I have a free ebook, so check that out below too with the description link. Let me go ahead and merge Dr. Ken on. Dr. Ken! Hi!
Hello. How's it going, Countess?
Are you mad at me? I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I was out of pocket also, so I'll take half the blame.
Oh, cool. No, I was in the group. I was like, why can't I add him? It was because I was in our coaching group and not our main page. You're looking slimmer and slimmer every time I see you. You look more, I don't know, ketofied.
Yeah. It's working.
It's working. Well, if y'all don't know Dr. Ken, make sure you go over and check out his amazing YouTube page. Also, his Amazon book. If you haven't gotten it, now's the time to go do that. The link's below. Lies My Doctor Told Me. They sure did tell us some lies. So I've got a bunch of questions, as I always do. But can we just dive right in? Can I do some rapid fire?
Let's
Wonderful.
do it.
So I kind of have a bone to pick with you first. I feel like now in my technical era, I shouldn't pick my bone first, and I should switch my question. May I pick a bone with you first?
Yeah, let's pick a bone.
Okay. This is my bone I'm going to pick. Cracking my back. Okay. So I've been getting in my coaching program. Dr. Ken told me not to count my macros, and I'm not losing any weight. I've gotten that like 80 times.
Yeah.
So I wanted to share with you, I feel like that is a disclaimer you should make is if people are just starting keto or if they have more than 25 pounds to lose, they should count their macros to begin with. That's kind of a later on down the pike type thing. Can you clarify so I don't have to pick a bone?
Yeah. Let's talk about that. So I don't think that counting macros religiously is necessary for most people. But there are some people who need to count macros. First of all, there are counters, people who love that kind of stuff, right? And then there are cheaters, right? Who, if they're not accountable to their app or to their notebook or whatever, they'll mess up. And I've actually seen people in the office like that, and they're like, "No, I'm telling you, I'm strict keto. I'm telling you, I never ever vary." And I'll be like, "Well, okay, keep a 2-week food and drink journal and bring it in, and we'll look at it together." And then I look at it every freaking meal. Here's carb, here's carb, here's carb. You know, it's like, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know. I just could." And it's almost like they're blind to it. They can't really see it. So for those types of people, there are some people that counting macros is very, very helpful. And obviously, if you've stalled and you're not losing weight, or if you've started and you're not losing weight, you need to count macros. And then there are also people who, if you're coming from just a complete stupid American diet, and part of the reason I say that is I came from paleo. I was paleo 4 to 5 years before I switched to keto. And so I was well aware of the macros and what's in what and what's in, not in the other. And so if you're someone who's coming from the standard American or the standard Canadian diet and you don't really have a damn clue even what macros are or what foods contain carbs or fat or whatever, it would probably help you greatly to track your macros for 2 weeks or a month or whatever until you're like, "Oh, I didn't know that had carbs in it." You know, like there are so many people that don't realize that cashews have a ton of carbs. They don't know. It's a tree nut, so they think it's healthy, and it is healthy. But if you're counting your carbs, you got to watch the cashews. And that's just one example of many things that are like, "Oh, I had no idea." Right. And so I think for many, many people, counting macros is a good thing. But don't obsess about the macros. I guess that was kind of my whole point the whole time is don't obsess about it. Obsess about the diet and getting your carbs super low. But if you need to count the macros, I'm definitely not against it at all. I just don't count macros. For me personally.
So if anyone's in VIP Countess coaching group, Dr. Ken just clarified.
It's totally fine. If it helps you, count your macros till the cows come home. But for me, I'm not a counter or an obsessor. I don't worry about stuff like that. If something's not working, then I look at it and fix it. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so if I stopped getting the results I was looking for, I'd be like, "Whoa, wait a minute." And I might even count macros for a week or two just to see what the heck's going on. But I haven't had to do that so far.
Good. Good, good, good. The two books, and I meant to have them with me so I could show you the Fat Bomb book you suggested and the
Yeah,
Dr. Fun fasting book. Dr. Ken, you've changed my life yet
yeah,
again.
yeah,
Those
yeah.
books are incredible. I put them in the description link below.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite Fat Bomb that you like?
Well, not really. I don't actually.
Mhm.
I don't. My favorite fat bomb is a teaspoon of grass-fed butter. Literally, that's my fat bomb. And then if I'm really wanting something sweet, I'll just sprinkle some stevia on it, and that's my fat bomb. Like I'm a practicalist. I don't get into all the frou-frou. But we have a friend, Melissa Inkster, and she's been making fat bombs, and she made a strawberry cheesecake fat bomb the other day. Holy crap! Wow.
Some good
Okay.
stuff.
I've never had strawberry cheesecake that was as good as these fat bombs. Zero carb,
Really?
zero protein, pure fat, and just enough of the little flavors. Oh man, so delicious. She also makes a Reese's peanut butter type flavor that's
Ooh,
amazing as well. Yeah. And so those are probably my two favorites right now. But when I'm
I
in a
love it.
rush, I just get a spoon of butter and sprinkle some stevia on it. That's it. Boom.
Ooh,
Yeah. Love it.
ooh.
Love
Oh,
it.
good. Okay, good. Good, good, good. If you're just joining us, I'm here with Dr. Ken, my keto expert. He's your keto expert too. Go check out his Amazon book, Lies My Doctor Told Me, and his YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook. All those lovely things are in the description below. This man is so smart, and he's given us such valuable information. Not only is he a doctor, but I love that way that you process things with us is because you've said it before. You kind of open the door, throw the seeds in, close the door, and it's anthropology. I was going to say zoology, but that's not right.
No. Well, maybe for some people, zoology would be a part of it. Yeah.
But so it's along those lines is the mental change. So I've been talking with a couple of the gals and gentlemen. What happens if people can't stop sabotaging themselves? They can't seem to be reverting back to
Yeah.
these old things.
Then you suffer. It's that simple. I mean, literally, this is a paradigm shift. Is what this
Mhm.
is. This is almost for many people, it's as big of a mental and psychological shift as if they
Yes.
were switching religions. Like it's huge because for a lot of people, for so many people, the diet they eat is the diet their mama taught them. And so basically at a foundational subconscious level, you're saying mama was wrong for a lot of people, because a lot of people like food for me is fuel. I just eat because I'm hungry. I have to eat.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, food is very emotional and very almost
Yes.
spiritual. And I get that. I don't have that
Mhm.
myself, but I do get that. I see that in other people. And for those people, it is a huge, I mean, this, you've seen the different stress levels, like going through a divorce is 80 points and death of a spouse is 100 points. That's the most stressful thing in the world. For some people, switching to keto is not stressful at all. It's like, oh, okay. It's like switching gas stations. I won't get Shell. I'll get BP. Big deal. I don't care. But then for other people, it's very, very high up on the stress level for them to make this change. It's a huge life
Interesting.
change to go from eating whatever they used to eat to eating keto. It's huge. It's very psychologically demanding for some people. And I get that because I see that in the clinic. Some people are like, yeah, it's fine. Whatever. You just tell me, give me the list. I'll eat it. The end.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
no sweat off their butt at all, right? They just do it. Boom. Other people, it is a psychological burden for them to do this. And so I think those are the people who and they call it self-sabotaging, but what they really don't want to admit is I was wrong all these years. I was feeding my children wrongly. My mother taught me wrongly. Like I literally have been kind of living a lie all these years because when we sit down at the table, we assume what we're about to put in our children's mouth is healthy and nutritious and good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Turns out, no, it's bad. It's been bad all these years. And I was doing that to my family. And you have to, I mean, it's almost like a grieving process. You have to go through this process where, yeah, all that's wrong and all that's bad. I can't do that anymore. And it's a little bit like the drug addict when he goes to rehab and he gets off whatever,
Mm-hmm.
he can't associate with his friends anymore. His old
Right.
friends, because that's a road right back to addiction. And for a lot of people that, and you don't really want to not associate with your family anymore because they still want to eat chicken strips and ketchup. But
Right.
I don't even think it's self-sabotage. I just think they haven't dealt with the deeper psychological issues that you have to deal with to change to this way of eating for some people. Now, some people it's effortless because they don't have all that baggage. Some people do. It's a big deal to tell mama, hey, I'm not going to eat your pie anymore. That's a fight at some people's house. You know what I'm saying? That is a
Yep,
literal.
for sure.
We're not speaking for 2 weeks if you don't eat a piece of this pie. That is that way in some families. And so that's not really self-sabotage. That's just you having to deal with the life you've been dealt, and figuring out how you're going to juggle that and not make mama mad, but at the same time, fix your type 2 diabetes or whatever you're trying to fix.
Yeah. Wow.
And so I get it for some people. This is a huge struggle. The struggle is absolutely real, and it's social, it's familial, it's psychological. It's a big deal for some people. And so I don't want people beating themselves up and calling themselves self-saboteurs, because I don't think that's what you are. I think you just haven't dealt with all your social and family situations yet to get your system set up so that it works for you.
Do you have any suggestions for someone to start the wheel going down that path to deal with that?
Yeah, you start small. You literally start by not buying one thing. And so for so many of my patients I've seen in the clinic, it's like, okay, what one thing are you going to never touch again? And I used to ask that question. Okay, what's the one thing? What's the first thing that when you get home, you're going to throw it away and never buy it again? And for a lot of people, that's a symbolic thing. And it's like, oh, it'll be my Hawaiian bread, because I freaking love that stuff, right? Or my monkey bread, or my whatever, mom has always made this dessert and I'm never eating that again, ever. That's it. And so that's a great first symbolic step. That's it. I'm never eating that again. Because when you do that, then you can do the second step, and it's just one more little step. And so some people have to teetotal. They have to go home and clean out the cabinets and cupboards and clean out the fridge, and then go buy keto stuff. Some people have to do that. That's just their style. Other people have to take a step a day. And I don't think there's anything wrong with either style, because you got to know you. You got to know who you are. Which one of those are you? And whichever person you are, you need to do that person. And so whether that's going emptying the cupboards today, or whether that's slowly transitioning over the next 3 months, I don't care which way you do it, as long as you're making steady progress. And as long as you're doing better today than you were doing yesterday, I consider that a success, and you're going to get there. It's just, how long is it going to take?
Right. How long is it going to take? Well, if you're just joining us, I'm with Dr. Ken, who has the #1 Amazon best-selling book. Go check it out. It's really good. And his YouTube. Y'all, have you guys seen his YouTube? So, Dr. Ken, we got to go talk about your YouTube channel.
Okay.
You kind of have me a little skeeved out about your plastic video. I have been going through my house, and if you could see, you can't see, and I'm not going to show anybody, but I've cleared out all of our plastics out of our kitchen. Everyone needs to go to Dr. Ken's YouTube, Dr. Ken Berry's YouTube, and check out his plastic video, because it has me freaked out. I am freaked out now about even my son's bathtub toys are all plastic. Do I have a right to be freaked out about that stuff?
Yeah, let's talk about plastic. So all mothers know about BPA. You know about BPA, right? But there's a book that if you really want to be skeeved out, it's called Estrogeneration, and it's written by a friend of mine, Dr. Anthony Jay. Estrogeneration, like if you took estrogen and generation and made a compound word. And basically BPA is just the one that we all know about. There's also BPS. There's also phthalates, PHTA phthalates. It's the weirdest word ever to say. But all these things are just as bad as BPA. And that's why really, when it comes down to it, no plastic needs to be in your environment at body temperature. Okay. And so therefore, if your son chews on his bathroom, his tub toys, that ain't okay. Right? Because your saliva, the job of your saliva is to break stuff down. That's what it does. Right? And then his mouth is 98 degrees. And so he's warming the plastic, and then his saliva is working on it, and then his little teeth are working on it. Yeah, not okay. Not okay. If he chews on
even
it.
His sippy cups. His sippy cups are plastic.
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. And so all of them will say BPA free now, because they know that that's on your radar. But BPS is still in there. Phthalates are still in there. Everything that goes in the human mouth needs to be glass, metal, or food grade wood or food grade ceramic. It needs to be something that is okay, that does not break down or degrade at all at body temperature. And I'll tell you, if you use plastic in the kitchen and you keep it in the fridge, and you use it to store stuff in, it's like Tupperware, and you store that in the fridge, I think that's fine. I don't think that's a problem. That's I don't think it's perfect, but I think that's probably 99% fine. But if you ever heat something in Tupperware, in the microwave, or you put food in there while it's still warm, no, do not do that. Room temperature or lower, I think plastic is stable and fine. But if it's above room temperature, it's breaking down, and you're getting the BPS and the phthalates and all that other stuff is getting in your food at least a little bit. And I think that's probably a huge part of the reason that the average girl starts her period when she's 9 or 10 now. And I think that's part of the reason that the average girl starts, having boobs when she's 9 or 10. When in our generation, you didn't do that. You didn't start when you were 9, and you didn't have boobs when you were 9. That just didn't happen. But all these things are estrogen-like, all these plastics, right? And so they kind of fit in the estrogen receptor enough to partially activate it. That's why we got all this early puberty, early breast development, and also all the other terrible things that estrogen does to boys and young men, right? Like I see guys in my clinic every week. I'll see a guy in his 20s with low testosterone. What the hell? He's in his 20s, right?
Yeah.
What the hell? That's ridiculous, right? But that's literally going to change his life in ways that he never wanted, never intended. And so he has to take prescription testosterone medication to get his testosterone where it needs to be. And who knows if it was the Tupperware or if the plastic toys or whatever. But all I know, after I read Anthony J's book, I was like, all the plastic's gone out of my house. That's not happening, because that's not okay. Not okay for boys, for sure, but also not okay for girls. Because girls, I mean, basically this is an experiment that's being done on your kids right now. Because no one's ever done the huge studies that proves, let's do a 20-year-long study with these kids. Because would you want your kid to be in that study? No. Right, exactly. So basically none of this is proven. The big corporations just got it okayed by the federal government, and now we all think plastic's okay because it's in our cupboard. But it's not okay if it's above body temp. It's not okay.
So as I'm going through my house, I've replaced the cups with stainless steel. That's okay? Stainless steel cup?
Yeah, stainless, glass, of course, and then any kind of food, wood. The wood that's, wooden, whatever that's made for food, that's fine. But you got to watch that, because a lot of wood is decorative, right? And so it's not made, it'll have lacquer on it or something.
Right.
And so you got to make sure it's food grade wood product. But plastic is not okay if it's above room temperature.
Kitchen utensils. Like, I noticed all my cooking stuff, my spatulas, they're all plastic. I mean,
exactly.
Like, literally, you've changed my mind. I'm like going through my house, like everything is plastic.
And that's good. And I don't want you to obsess on it, but I want you to think about it. Because, like, if you've got a Teflon little spatula, right? How many seconds is it in contact with your food? Not many. Is that a big deal? That's probably fine. Because if you've got the good ceramic, bottom cookware, you don't want to be scraping that with metal. So we still use those, because it's only in contact with the food for a second, right? But there are people who warm up their entire meal in Tupperware in the microwave. I mean, that's just how they live their life. You put all your leftovers in Tupperware, and then you heat it up in the microwave. And if you forget about it and heat it too long, it melts. And then they still eat it anyway. And it's like, no. And I can remember when I was growing up as a kid, my grandmother was a big believer in Tupperware. Everything went in Tupperware. And then she would heat it up in the microwave, and sometimes too long, and it would start, the actual bowl would start to bubble and break down because it got too hot from the food. Terrible. Who knew better? Nobody knew better.
Right.
Yeah, nobody knew better.
Is silicone okay?
Yeah, I think silicone's much more stable. I think it's fine. At least as of now, I think it's fine. But like the silicone that you bake with, and you can also get silicone spatulas and stuff too. And I think probably all that's infinitely better than plastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Going through my house, and I'm like, I'm watching your video while I'm bathing my son, and he's in the tub, the hot tub with hot water, which is reacting with the plastic, playing with the plastic tub, eating the toy, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, not okay to be in his mouth, but I think it's fine for him to play with it in the tub. I don't think that the plastic gets high enough concentrations to be absorbed through the skin. Some people do. I can't imagine. I don't think that's true, but definitely in the mouth, that's not okay.
Geez, someone said our soup thermoses from childhood. That's right. I
Yeah,
can remember
exactly.
having those
Right.
little soup
Yep.
things.
Yep. And it stayed
Jeez.
hot for hours in there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Ooey
Yep.
and
Yep. Yep.
gooeying.
Yep. Who knew? Nobody knew better, but now we know.
Who knew? Now we know. Now we do better because now we know.
That's right.
Because you're in the car and because Dr. Ken is so committed to helping so many people, the thousands and thousands of people you've already just on the cusp started helping with I say millions more to come.